Today we will be looking at common and uncommon conditional phrases. The common conditional phrases that we will look at are whether A or B, even if, only if, and unless. The uncommon conditional phrases that we will look at are provided that, on the condition that, and it does not matter if. Before we start, let's do a quick review of conditionals. Okay, conditionals are basically if statements. They have both an if clause and a main clause. The if clause, if I win the lottery, and the main clause, I will buy a home. The if clause is the condition, and the main clause is the result of that condition. Okay, if I win the lottery, I have money. The result, I will buy a home. Okay, let's talk now about real versus unreal conditionals. Real conditionals are if statements that are possible. For example, if I see my friend, this is a very real condition. It's very possible that I can see my friend. I have a friend and I can meet him. Then the main clause, I am happy. That's the result. Okay. Unreal conditionals, on the other hand, are if statements that are not possible or very unlikely. For example, if I saw a dragon, it's a very unlikely condition, as dragons don't exist. And the result of this unlikely condition, I would be happy. Okay. So quickly, real conditionals are if statements that are possible. Unreal conditionals are if statements that are not possible or very unlikely. Now let's look at the biggest difference in form between real and unreal conditionals. The first difference occurs in the if clause. For real conditionals, the verb is usually some present tense form. Okay? For unreal conditionals, the verb is usually some past tense verb because it's backshifted. The next difference occurs with a backshifted modal that is present in the main clauses of unreal conditionals. For example, I would be happy. What is a backshifted modal? Well, for example, the backshifted modal of will is would, can is could, shall is should, and may is might. So backshifted modals are will, could, would, could, should, and might. Moving on now, let's talk about common conditional phrases. Okay, the first one we'll look at is whether A or B. We use whether A or B in the if clause to present two conditions that do not affect the result. For example, I will still be hungry whether I eat the apple or the orange. Whether I eat the orange or the apple, I will still be hungry. What is the meaning of this sentence, of this conditional? I may eat the orange or the apple, but I still will be hungry. Okay? Moving on now, we have even if. We use even if in the if clause for results that will not change. The condition may be fulfilled, but the results will not change. For example, even if it rains, I will go out. What is the meaning of this sentence? It may rain, but I will still go out. The rain, in other words, will not stop me. Moving forward now, we have common conditional phrases. Unless, we use unless in the if clause to emphasize negative statements. For example, I won't stay home. Unless it rains, I won't stay home. Or, if it doesn't rain, I won't stay home. Both of these if clauses mean the same thing. Unless it rains, if it doesn't rain. They have the same meaning. Why? Because the meaning of unless is if no. Okay, moving forward now, only if. We use only if in the if clause to emphasize a possibility that results from a specific condition. For example, no matter what, I will go out. Even if it rains, I will go out. Even if it snows, I will go out. But I will stay home only if there is a tornado. It may rain, I will still go out. It may snow, I will still go out. But if and only if there is a tornado, will I stay home. Now, very important thing. It's a kind of a small rule, but the modal comes before the noun if the main clause comes after the if clause. So, for example, here we do not say I will stay home. We say will I stay home. Is this a question? No. The if clause comes before the main clause. Only if it snows 10 feet will I stay home. So note, the modal comes before the noun if the main clause comes after the if clause. So quick review. We use even if in the if clause for results that will not change. Whether or not it rains, I will go out. Even if it rains, I will go out. We use unless in the if clause to emphasize negative statements. If it doesn't rain, I will go out. Unless it rains, I will go out. We use only if in the if clause to emphasize a possibility that results from a specific condition. For example, I will stay home only if it snows 5 feet. Only if it snows 5 feet will I stay home. Note, the modal comes before the subject when the main clause is last. Okay, moving forward now, let's look at uncommon conditional phrases. The first one that we will look at is provided that. Provided that occurs in the if clause, and it means the same as an if statement. So for example, provided that it stops raining, I will go out. Or in other words, if it stops raining, I will go out. Both provided that and if mean the same thing. Okay, so both of these if clauses have the same meaning. Next, we use on the condition that in the if clause, and it means the same as if. For example, on the condition that it stops raining, I will go out. In other words, if it stops raining, I will go out. So, on the condition that it stops raining and if it stops raining have the same meaning. Moving forward now, the next common phrase and the last one that we will look at is it doesn't matter if. We use it doesn't matter if in the if clause for results that will not change. The condition may be fulfilled, but the results will not change. For example, I will still be hungry. It does not matter if I eat. I will still be hungry. The meaning of this is similar to even if. It actually means the same, even if I eat. Next, we use it doesn't matter if in the if clause to present two conditions that do not affect the result. For example, it does not matter if I eat the orange or the apple, I will still be hungry. The meaning, whether I eat the orange or the apple, I will still be hungry. I may eat the orange or the apple, and I will still be hungry. Moving on now, let's do a quick summary. We use both on the condition that and provided that, and they mean the same as if. So, for example, if it rains, the crops will grow. Provided that it rains, the crops will grow. On the condition that it rains, the crops will grow. So provided that, on the condition that, they mean the same as if. Next, we use it doesn't matter if in the if clause to present one or two conditions that do not affect the result. For example, whether it rains or not, the crops will grow. It doesn't matter if it rains or not, the crops will grow. Well, this concludes my presentation. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, questions, or concerns, please email me, and I look forward to seeing you in class.